sounds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spelunkers, a game exploration podcast. I'm Tom, joined again by Ryan.
Hello.
Tyler.
What up?
And Chris.
Hi.
And we are talking about the Pathless second half-ish area. A little more than second half-ish.
Right? It's about second half. It's the third and fourth boss, and the final boss.
Yeah. So, not quite the second half.
55%.
Yeah.
Two-thirds of the game.
I'd say 60%, maybe.
Yeah, well. But, once again, Ryan is playing on mobile.
Mm-hmm. Yep, iOS.
We're just going to say that's why he has the feelings he does about this.
I don't think that's the case. I sat down and thought about this critically.
And I believe the rest of us are on what, PS5?
PS5, baby.
Yeah, okay. So, and we are at the Great Plains is where we start off this time. So, anybody have anything like they want to throw out about this chapter? Aside, okay, how do we say the name on this one? Nimue?
Nimue.
Nimue?
I gotta look at this.
I think it said like Nimue, but I mean,
It's
same.
The only reason I know
hairs.
this is because there is a character. There's a book called Cursed, and in the book Cursed, there is a character in that called Nimue, and they actually go through the pronunciation of how you say it. So it's spelled exactly the same. So I'm just gonna say it's Nimue.
Yeah,
Nimue. That's how it's gonna be, and
I believe you.
Cursed is a good book, by the way. You guys should read that book.
Okay. We'll become a book podcast as well. So we are now a video game, stripper, and book podcast.
I told you it has art by Frank Miller in it.
stripper.
Yeah, that happened last time when I said I was going to strip, and then I had
That's right.
strippers at podcast.
And then he just stripped half of his goatee off. And
Yeah, this is how I strip.
This is it.
Pretty
Perfect.
good.
So Nimue is a pretty sweet looking Hydra, I think. And
Yeah.
I think this character design is really cool. Also, the storm with Nimue super sucks because there's 4 heads looking for you.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only one I ever got caught during once I got caught by it, which I almost didn't get caught by the storm at all in this area. I needed like 1 token when I finally got caught, but it seems like the storm starts chasing you way harder if you have not been caught in a while, because it would like appear next to me over and over again while I was trying to get that last token, and eventually I just had to bite the bullet.
Yeah, I agree.
I got caught, but not like in the storm. Like I got into the storm, but I never got like, boom, I'm stealing your XP. The next one I did.
Yeah.
And that's probably my own fault, but
He kind of just like walked on top of me, and there's nothing I could do about that. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me, and it was one of those times again where I was just like, "What the fuck?" You know, like nothing I have control over.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that would happen because I was curious. Like they'd be coming at me a bunch of the times, and I'd just be like crouched there, not moving. I'm like, okay, is he gonna just walk on top of me, and then I'm screwed?
No, if they walk on top of you, you get caught no matter what.
Yeah.
Shit.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
Unfair.
whatever. I didn't get caught by this guy, so it's okay. So yeah, anybody have anything they want to spread out on? I have just a few things, but does anybody have anything to talk about in the Great Plains?
All I really have is we didn't play with it because we had it at the end of the last episode, but the like new red speed token things, what are those called? Talismans?
Yeah.
Those are super great. I love it. Because, I mean, the best thing about this game is running around really freaking fast, and the fact that those just make you go faster. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, the Great Plains, that was the only area that really there wasn't anything super noticeable for me as far as like any lore that was interesting or anything like that. Everything really just fed off of the 4th area before the final boss. So.
Okay. Ryan, do you have anything in the game that you don't like?
That I don't like.
That's the whole thing.
I mean, do like is
Not
good
the
too.
whole thing. This area seemed like the most bland to me. This was the area that was the solidification of like, okay, all the things that I've been feeling in the first 2 areas are true. and they are continued throughout everything. The puzzle designs seem uninspired. Traversal, while a ton of fun, doesn't seem to do anything other than get me through the game quicker. Where like in Spider-Man, you could find me just swinging around New York without any kind of aim or objective for hours because it's fun. Here, I'm only engaging with the traversal to get done quicker. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just like open area at this point, right? I mean, obviously, swinging around New York is a little different than some trees and a few woodland creatures.
That's fair.
Yeah, I will say, like, the first 3 areas, all of them feel super samey. It wasn't until the 4th area that I really felt like it was incredibly different.
Yeah, design-wise does get shaken up quite a lot in that 4th area, but then I have my own issue with that. We'll get to it when we get there. Yeah, but I do like the design of the 4th area more because it does break the landscape up quite a bit.
Okay. I had a note about, I know when you come in, there is a like giant eagle head statue that there's a shooting puzzle that you have to shoot it in the eyes. I thought that was kind of cool. But you got to like jump on one to shoot through a hole, then it goes like through 2 other ones. It lights up the eagle's eyes.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that like the eagle's eye fell down on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one just laying on the ground. I like that. I enjoy the flame, arrow, torch puzzles still. Those are usually pretty good.
There was one in this area that was like really hard for me to figure out for whatever reason. It like had, you started off with a torch and then you shot at like a mirror and it ricocheted off to the left-hand side. And then I could not get that left-hand arrow to ricochet back off of the mirror like farther across the field to the right like I needed to. I kept having this weird thing where the arrow would not ricochet, and I just kept doing it over and over and over. Finally, I looked it up. I was like, how the fuck do I solve this? And I was doing it right. It just, the game was not registering.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if it just wasn't registering. I didn't have enough power or what, but it took forever to finally do it. And then I got it, and I was like, okay, some XP. I'll just fuck off.
There was another cool spot that I saw where it's got like, I don't think it's supposed to be like Nimwe's heads, but there's 2 of them coming out, and there is a stream, and then it goes to a waterfall, and then there's 2 towers going straight up into the air, and you kind of have to jump back and forth, and there's a torch challenge right there too as you climb up. That one is pretty, like, that design I liked. But yeah, there's a lot of green and just trees. I also have a little lore piece. Once you get to this temple area, this guy says, "My hair grows gray, bones frail. I hereby consecrate myself to the glory of the God-slayer, and that my sacrifice might bring his power ever higher. If this is my way to the one true path, then it is my way. Had I known my journey would end as sacrifice here, I would have perhaps slain fewer men. It was an inhumanity I wish I did not endure." So it's nice to see, like, as they're going along, if you are looking at these little lore dumps, like, a lot of these people are like, crap, why did I do this? I know there's at least 2 more that I had written down, I think, throughout till the end of the game, where these people that are doing everything for the Pathfinder, Godslayer, at what point? I don't. He must have changed at this point for some people because I have it written down. But yeah, they're like, why did I do this shit?
Yeah, it's interesting. They have that shrine where you find that one. I do remember reading that one as well. Now that you mention it, it's like actually a shrine to the Godslayer, which is a weird thing because I kind of had the impression that he was the Pathfinder and then he like suddenly turned to be the Godslayer or whatever, and then just fucking like killed everybody, which is clearly not exactly what happened.
Yeah, because in the next area,
that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, then the next area, I have it written down as well. There's just a huge lore dump. Like, there's like 8 souls right there, 2 tablets, and
the tablets, like between the 2 of them, it's like an entire screen of dialogue, basically.
Yeah, it's like the entire thing.
And it's all within the Godslayer's words, and you find out basically exactly what the entire story is.
Well, the right one is the Godslayer, the left one's the Pathfinder.
Yeah, but they're like,
you can see like where it's him as it's going, and then it's like,
2 sides of the same coin.
Yes,
it's very cool.
So he's Two-Face. So now we've gone, instead of going to Star Wars this time, we've gone to Batman. We just flip the coin. Fuck it, I'll kill everybody. Why not? There was also another mask shrine that you can enter, and I was like, this is weird. Except it's not your mask shrine. I assume it is the one that the Pathfinder uses.
Yeah, so that's like the big lore area for this section, because in each area there's actually a trophy. I was talking to Tom about this earlier. It's a trophy for finding all of the lore, the main lore in the game. And like when you think about that, you think it'd be really hard because you find all these little souls. But there's actually 4 distinct locations within the map that have like huge like dumps of souls and tablets and all this stuff that like gives you all like the main story beats. And that's what this like mask area is right here, is like that main lore.
Yeah, and I have all of them written down. If we want to go over them, we can go through them all. So let's see, what do we got? There's a little, puzzle, but I don't think it was anything super exciting. The first one says, I knew my path might end here, but I wish the Pathfinder had put more effort into solving the puzzle. I would have liked to witness the moment he glimpsed the one true path. I would have liked to be there. Everything for the one true path. If the Pathfinder requires my body as his vessel, so be it. I will be a stepping stone on his journey to find the one true path. So there's these 2 guys that are just dead. And so I get that from this is like, this little piece of shit couldn't even do his own challenges. Like, these puzzles aren't even that hard, and he's sending these people in, and they're just dying trying to do these things. They're like, oh man, he's so lazy now. There's a tablet.
It kind of wraps back to what one of the prison guards' souls says, like how he was super charismatic, and you could see how people would follow him and stuff. It's cool how they kind of tie these little threads together like that.
Yeah, because he does say it, and I think in that one that you're talking about, he wasn't really like, he's like, I don't really care much about it, but he's so like, I can get into what he's saying. Like, he's just like grabbing everybody around him just with how he's saying it. So there's a tablet here that reads, the spirit mask is not to be worn by those who force their way forward. The tall ones know their due time. Those who would seek like them must know the same. It's not quite the same as the one that you read when you get your spirit mask from that body in the beginning. Because I think that one just basically says once you wear it, you'll never see the world the same, which I think at some point they kind of talk about that. It might even be at that one in the next area, one of the tablets, when you're finding the Sun Sword area.
Yeah, because one of the Pathfinder has, right, it like actually it transports him into the spirit world like entirely.
Yeah,
so it's not like he's looking into it, like his whole being is going into the other side.
Or you're just seeing it.
Yeah.
But you find 2 more souls. One says, I could almost taste it, the mask that would illuminate the one true path, mere steps away. How could I wait? The road to discover the one true path is treacherous. I knew that. Tetris. They just
the one true path, Tetris.
And then you gotta win, and then you can get the spirit mask with the 3 eyeballs. Treacherous. I knew that even still, I wish the Pathfinder had not forced us to trigger these traps. Our sacrifice might have been better spent. So this one, I remember walking in, there's like, I think it's like 4 little like totems, and they got like spears sticking out of them, and there's just like people dead. And this is the first time I think you see a bunch of bodies, and you can't interact with all of the souls. Like there's actually just bodies there besides the souls that you can read or glimpsed into the spirit realm and get their last thoughts or whatever it is that you're doing. But yeah, it's just like he's just using these guys. They're just dying, and he's like, whatever, fuck you guys, cannon fodder. So it's just like, oh wow, man, this guy's just a piece of crap. Which, I mean, you want that in your bad guy. You want to be a piece of crap.
That's true.
But this was another one. I think the actual puzzle to this is just another one of those match up this picture, shoot it, rotate it, match all the little pictures up. And that's pretty much the end of it. After that, there's a final tablet that reads, those who have arrived here are worthy of the spirit mask, but beware to those who would wear it. Men who don the mask can never see the world the same way again.
So is your character wearing the same mask? Because I was confused about that. It kind of seems like she might be, but the way the Pathfinder talks about it, as
there seems to be
the Godslayer, that it's kind of different, the one that he has.
Yeah, it seems like there's more warnings to this one in this temple than there is in the one that you get. Where in the one you get, it just basically says, once you put this on and you see through it, you'll never see things the same way again. Where this one seems to heed a lot more warnings.
Weird.
I guess they don't really show, I don't think they show what the mask is in this one. So I guess, I mean, you just pull yours off some dead guy laying on a crypt. So
I know. I was kind of getting the impression it was the same thing, but it just depended on how you used it. Like what the way that you wanted to use it is how you would see the world differently.
yeah.
I don't know. It was confusing. That was the one thing about the story that was really confusing.
Yeah. Well, by this tablet, there's also one final soul. It says, I have never heard such a keening cry. The great Pathfinder brought low bellowing, where is the path? Where is the path? Will forever haunt me. Our kind leader is struck mad. So it's another guy that he used that's just like, this guy's going freaking nuts.
He definitely did. I mean,
Yeah, it's putting it lightly.
Do you get the impression that that is the point where he becomes the Godslayer, or is that more explicitly explained in the later area?
I thought it was that point because, I mean, it says more explicitly what happens when he puts on the mask later on. But I'm pretty sure the point where he puts on the mask and like looks into or goes into the spirit world, that's when he realizes the thing that makes him flip a switch.
yeah, I would say that's the point of no return.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it starts down the dark side, probably, as he's killing people to do whatever he wants to do.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I would guess here. As you exit this area, there's another tower. I think this is the second tower I cleansed, but when you get up there, there is a soul that reads, I see the Pathfinder's forces entering the masked shrine. I wonder if they know the deadly dangers within. Many have entered the building, but few ever leave. So the place I was just in basically was this. Like, there's a lot of these where I go into the place, I have no idea what they're called, write my notes, and then I leave, and then it tells you what the hell it was. Like, you find it somewhere else in another lore area. But yeah, this guy just basically watched them all go in. And he's like, oh shit, well, things are bad there. I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to sit up here and die, apparently. That's what he did. And then there's another field down below. I didn't write a lot of this, but there's a lot, like, there's a lot of souls down here too, and there's one dead one that says, to fight and die in the shadows of gods doing battle. What an honor, what a noble death. And like, so they, at this point, I think he had gone bad because he was back here fighting the tall ones. Because I don't know what other gods would, I don't think the gods would be fighting each other, or the tall ones.
Yeah, probably not.
So that's the way. This definitely has to be the area then that he started to go down the path of Darth Vader. So now we got back to Star Wars. I had to throw it in there somewhere. So basically, that's all I have really notable that I wrote down, and then we get to fight Nimue. So you get the normal. Light hitting him, jump down into the sweet-looking like storm cloud and chase him down. So does anybody else do the left before the right? Because I found this out. Like I always do both left ones and then go to the right and do both right ones.
I always start on the right side first, usually.
Yeah,
I started on
do
both.
the left. But do you always do both of them, or do you switch to the other side?
Yeah, I always do both of them.
Yeah, because it's so easy. Like you can just jump, and by the time
yeah.
you're like gliding down, you just pop.
I guess I also do left side first, yeah.
I was curious. It seemed interesting. I noticed that when I was watching my stuff back.
I wonder if it would still go into that like extra animation of him like sprinting off ahead and having to chase him back down again if he did one on one side and then one on the other.
I think it would still sprint ahead, like after two. I think they would still do it. This, like actual fight, probably took me the longest, just because his second phase or her second phase. This is I believe Nimue is a she. They say later, where it grows like 4 more heads, and I think it's like 8.
Yeah, is
And
this
it's like, oh god,
is this the fight that you don't have the bird?
no, you have the bird.
No, for the
Not-
first half you
not
do.
the first half you do, and then Nimue shoots it into like an egg or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. The second half, when it gets more heads, you don't have the bird. for that
Yeah,
part.
right.
and you gotta jump over the head that sweeps, and then they shoot the like. It took me a little bit.
Yeah,
And
I
once
really
you get
like
hit
that. I
once-
like how they take that bird away from you because it really like puts you in a different position. This is like every time I would fight a boss, it's just like, okay, jump, glide, jump, glide, and it's like not having that. I was like, okay, I got to be more
For sure.
precise with what I'm doing.
I just didn't like that I'd always get hit, and if you get hit once, you're back to the beginning of that phase. It's like, ah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Damn
that boss took me a little bit to get used to because you kind of need to just be mashing R2. Like, I would always try to aim like I would at anything else. Well, not aim, quote unquote aim. You don't aim in this game, but you know what I mean. I would try to hold the button, and it just fades away too quickly. Can't do that. But if you just mash R2, like, it's already a full diamond, so hits them anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, this one gets real iffy because there's ones that'll do it. I think this is the one where, like, it'll attack, and there's a weird spacing, and it'll only show up, like, on the one head, like, way far up off of the screen. And it's like, oh, God, oh, God. And then, like, that one would hit me all the time. And I'd be like, yeah, anger. But I beat it, so.
Yeah, overall, I like the boss fight a lot. It's last phase. I think it's this last phase. The one where you're, like, platforming, that camera was really awful for that platforming. Like, pulled back above you a little bit. It was really awkward.
Yeah, it sucks, too, because they wanted it to be, like, such a crazy cinematic moment, and it still felt really cinematic and cool, but like, I definitely missed a jump, maybe two, because of how the angle was pulled back like that.
Yeah.
I just, like, couldn't get precise enough, especially since I didn't have the bird.
True. But overall, after you defeat Nimue, this is probably my favorite tall one coming up out of the blue, the snake.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that one was really cool looking. Out of all of them, out of the four. I thought that was neat. I enjoyed it. I took a picture.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite tall one design.
Agree. I agree.
I don't know.
It's giant
Snakes are
skeleton.
cool, I guess.
All of its totems looked really cool.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Nobody did that, Tyler. That's not a thing. Nobody does that.
Tyler did. That's why we have him here, because he did it.
That's why he's
I
here.
certainly didn't.
He's the lore master.
Yeah, that's why we invited you to be on this podcast so long ago. Is because we knew in the Pathless you would find all the thingamajigs.
They're like, this guy's a fucking nerd. He'll get the platinum for no reason on this game.
He's a single-player gamer, so he's gonna get all this good stuff.
This game is just really relaxing, man.
It is a very chill, like. It doesn't push you. That's the thing about this. It's just
in the next area, you get an ability if you get all the totems, like maid going and getting all the trophies. Really fun. So I like that part. The end grind of getting the trophies was really good. I enjoyed it.
Tom, you say the fact that there's nothing, which is really chill.
Yeah.
The fact that there's nothing drives me to not want to play this. There's not enough there to bring me back and keep going, I think, is my biggest problem.
But there is a cool story if you look for it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I got really interested in that story, and going around and looking for that was what made it interesting. Plus, it was just like a relaxing thing of like, oh, let's hit some air pockets and use this bird and just fly around and listen to this beautiful ass music and try to find some information that would be interesting.
I think we're missing a critical nugget from the story, personally, and that is, why is our hunter here?
Oh, it tells you that.
Where?
In the beginning.
Yeah, she's the last person that can take out.
That's not a good enough reason for me.
You hate Zelda stories, all of them.
I don't like Zelda for a story.
Yeah, most of the story is pretty bad, I guess.
I feel like I'm thrown onto this island without a reason to do anything other than just, you're good, they're bad, do something about it.
Well, I think you're the last person in a tribe that is trying to
hunter.
This darkness from taking over the entire world because it's spreading from this central location. I mean, that's it. That's the only thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I want a little more. There's too much for this to be a palate cleanser appetizer game for me, but there's not enough for it to be a proper experience for me.
Yeah, that's maybe kind of fair. It's a weird length for a game,
like
6
a
hours.
Sorbet thing?
Sorry, I was talking over you, Tyler. What'd you say?
No, I was talking over you. I was trying to make a joke saying it's sorbet, not it's not an appetizer.
It's not an amuse bouche.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I was just saying 6 hours is kind of a weird length for a game, like 6 or 7. Because like I think even a shorter experience like Miles Morales is like 12 to 15, and most like legit short experience games are like 2 hours. Like that's always 2 to 3 hours for this walking simulator or whatever. So it's an odd length for a game for sure that we don't see very often.
I don't think it would be as bad if it wasn't priced so high, but like $40 for this,
it's
a little steep.
It's definitely overpriced.
I mean, I really enjoyed myself, but I mean, $40 is really steep for this because as soon as I beat it and got all the trophies, I was like, uninstall.
Yeah, there's no replayability.
Yeah,
really.
there's nothing else to do. It's like you you're not going to get the same. I'm not going to get the same emotion and experiences going through that again.
True.
For sure.
So after this, I think you meet the Godslayer again here. Does anybody else think that the Godslayer sounds like Jabba the Hutt?
No, but I realized what he looked like. In the last episode, you said it looked like some villain. I can't remember, but I don't know if you guys. Yeah, but there is an anime called Soul Eater. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but
I've heard of it.
A villain in that called the Kishin. He's like this crazy demon that's like wrapped up and like kept in like this crazy sack that everybody has to monitor. They're worried about him coming back. Looks legitimately exactly like that. I wish I should have posted a picture in here earlier so you guys could see it. I mean, it looks exactly like it. The eye design and everything looks exactly like it.
But then what does it have to do with him sounding like Jabba the Hutt? Also, by the way, the Smack was watching me play the end, and he agrees that he does sound like Jabba the Hutt. So
I see where you're coming from with the Jabba the Hutt thing. Yeah. When you,
I don't think I paid attention to his voice.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have Star Wars brain.
Myself, but...
Yeah. I don't have Star Wars brain, so I didn't think of it, but it makes sense.
Yeah. You can watch my stream of the end of it when I bring it up, and then watch a little clip of Jabba, and be like, okay.
I'm gonna look at the picture of that Kishin too while I'm thinking about it.
But anyway, when this opens up, when you're going to the next like glide area, and also this is where you unlock the talismans that boost you into the air, which is super fun too. This opening of the mountain tundra, I think, is really cool. Just seeing this whole different landscape appearing before you.
Right.
Just like this big like bowl basically, and I had a lot of fun just running around the outside up on the rims and then like climbing up on the high statues and then just jumping off.
Yeah, real quick, going back to the like boss fight with, or I mean quote unquote boss fight, it's just you're supposed to get crushed by the Godslayer, but I like some of the dialogue and stuff here. I don't like that he takes my jump away, for, like he drains one of your jumps, which was pretty fucked up. But he says like, have you not felt lost traveling this land? And I was like, that felt like a direct call out to me and what I was saying last episode of like, I wish there was a map. I wish the game had waypoints and told me more clearly where to go. And I guess that kind of makes me on the evil guy's side in this game, or at least it did. I think there's some really cool stuff dialogue-wise that changed my perspective on that, especially in the ending. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, oh, that's weird that they're like specifically calling out. At least it seemed to me that they're specifically calling out the fact that like, no, this game should not have a map. It's not supposed to have a map. That's the point. Like, this crazy guy is the one that wants a map. Fuck that guy.
I didn't think that it was big enough that I needed a map.
I mean,
No,
I think it's
definitely not.
massive. It's just you move so quickly through it that it doesn't feel massive.
But I mean, you can just get up anywhere and just find, like, put your visor down, your mask on, and be like,
Yeah,
okay,
just
I'm
let
gonna
the
go over
ping
there.
go off.
Pretty much
and
just-
that point of interest, like ping system, is really cool. I did like that a lot. I would like to see that actually in more games, like instead of a map, because it was like instead of telling me exactly what is over in this area, it's kind of nice having that ability to just go in and explore and find it for yourself, knowing that it's like a point of interest.
Yeah.
And that you are going to find something, but not exactly knowing what that is. I do like that a lot. There's an air of mystery about it.
Also, with your mask on, you can see like the areas you've cleansed, like it'll glow blue up into a certain point, and then it'll stop. And I thought that was cool. You really notice it in this next area, just with the different like levels, and scaling. Like you can just see like it coming down the mountain, stop, and there's a hard turn. So you know, like okay, I can go over here. There's something here that's gonna at least cleanse this, whether or not it has a token or whatever in it. You know, that's another thing. But
I'm gonna kind of skip ahead to like past the boss fight. Once you beat the boss of this area and you get all the totems, you get this ability. It's like basically a super glide where you jump up and it takes like 6 or 7 feathers away, and it literally sends you like hundreds of feet up into the air.
yeah,
And
that was super fun doing that.
ricochets you like a freaking rocket ship up into space. It's incredible, and it makes getting around the environment and like looking at the scenery so much more enjoyable. And that's what I was getting at earlier when I said like the trophy hunt at the end was like really fun, because I was just like had this really fun, awesome way of maneuvering around this like environment that I didn't have before.
I did a
Kinda
bunch of
thrilling at the end.
superhero landings by doing that. I also did it onto the boss in the storm area. Like I just jumped way high off and then I just let go. And there's actually a trophy for doing that.
Oh, really? Yep. Cool. And then the other thing, the Godslayer is like the most perfect example of a bad villain who monologues at you and then has the opportunity to kill you and then leaves you alive, except he fucking does it twice. He does it at the beginning of the game, and then you're 3/4 through the game, and he's like, "You're a threat. I'm gonna beat your ass," and then just fucking leaves again.
And he kind of does it again, right?
Trope.
After you beat the last boss and you're going up to the place, he does it one more
There's
time.
a little, there's a little brief moment there.
Instead of just like being like, all right, this is it, this is the final one. It's like, nah, we gotta have one more encounter where I'm gonna talk shit to you for no reason.
Another little thing in this I like is the trees bending in the wind during the big storms. Like there's those huge pine trees that are just like, wow. It's fun running around on the mountains looking at that. But
there's a trophy for getting up really high and sliding down 400 meters in like the snow, and that animation is really cool. Like watching her like slide down, doing that. I like this area a lot. This was definitely my favorite area.
Yeah,
it was kind of hard to traverse at times, but it was fun.
I think they shine the most in this area. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the hardest area to explore, but it was the most stunning to look at and like the most interesting because of the verticality. Like there's not enough verticality in video games, which is because, you know, players don't know how to look up. Like there's research that players just will not look up if you hide something up. So I think that's why a lot of developers don't do verticality, but I like when they do.
Weird.
There's a really cool little like lore nugget in this area too, talking about Kumo, and
all up by the trees.
Yeah, up on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I have that written down too.
Yeah, where the mother eagle basically created all the monsters of the land. Like all those giant ass bones that we've been seeing were actually monsters that were created for Kumo to play with because he was so big and tough that like he couldn't play with his siblings because he hurt them. So they had these monsters created. I was like, that's so fucking cool. Like we've been seeing these monster bones all over the place, and it's like, what the fuck are these? And come to find out, it's just like, oh, this was just this guy's friends that were created specifically for him. It was like,
and then he murdered them.
And then he murdered all of them.
Yeah, I have that one right here because let's see. There's 3 tablets. The first one reads, "Even as a newborn, Kumo was large and powerful. He was rambunctious and liked nothing better than to wrestle." The second one, "But it was no fun wrestling his siblings. Serenos was shy, Nimue haughty, and Saru fought too hard. Kumo loved to wrestle with animals of the land, but he quickly grew much larger, and even the biggest animals, he just had nobody to play with." And then yet the third one, "Eagle Mother wished to alleviate her son's loneliness, so she grew many animals of the plateau, grew them well beyond their normal stature so that Kumo would have friends with whom he could wrestle. And that is why today we encounter so many giant bones among the plateaus."
I think that's so fucking cool, man. I love that.
Yeah, that was my favorite bit of lore that I read for sure.
Yeah.
Also up here is probably one of the puzzles that I hated the most. This is the one where one side is easy. It's like 4 rings you got to shoot through, but one you
I have this written down.
Pick it up. And the one side's easy because you just drop it, jump down, and you can just wait for it. The next side, there's 2. So you got to drop one, drop the other, get back down, and hope that you did the right way so that they line up. And I'm like, God damn it.
Literally, that is the first puzzle I ever wrote in my notes out of all these puzzles because it fucking sucks. I hate it so much.
So, like, how did you guys do it? Because for that one, I did the first one, and then I immediately ran back to the back one, rode that up with the eagle, and then I ran down the slant of the slope to it, and then just tried to fire it off as quickly as possible.
I mean, I did the first one, then the second one, just ran back, and
just eventually you get the timing.
I think, or maybe I did it the other way, because I think the second one, if you bring it up all the way, there's actually a little stop before it starts, where the other one just starts dropping. Right
that's what it was. Okay, so I did the second one first, and then it goes up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And it dropped that,
and
then went
you
back.
have to be up higher, otherwise the eagle won't bring it up all the way.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. I had a weird glitch in this area too. There was another puzzle like this, where like every time I would shoot it, it would give me like a little shrine token, but then the shrine token would just stay in the pedestal. But I still got it. Like it went into my inventory, and I was able to do everything. Weird. But it just like every time I go back there, that token would still be in that area. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of the. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna move on. So whatever.
You go. One of the other things I liked in this puzzle, or in this area that they added for the mechanics, there was the frozen pieces that you'd have to thaw with the flame arrows.
Yep.
I thought that was fairly neat. And then there was a couple set that had that, like the spinning obstacles. So you step on the button and they move around, but then they stop, and then when you get off, they swing back. Yep. And like you got to time it so you can shoot right through. Like it wasn't incredibly difficult, but it was kind of cool. So those are two other things. I think that was what they added for this area for the puzzle.
Yeah,
Like,
I like the
Cool.
3 frozen targets on the bridge specifically. If you guys remember that one, you're like
Yeah, is that the
passing
one
a
where you got to
torch
kind of
along
like loop around? Like you
Yeah.
can shoot this one from this area, then you got to go back, then you got to go like way off to the side on the side
That's
of a
the one
mountain.
that I had a glitch where it wouldn't give me the little shrine token.
Very weird.
This is how we should just do the podcast. That's it. Just a whole hour podcast of.
Yes, we should do it like just like that.
2020's top 10s.
So the only other thing I have of note here is the big sword shrine, which is obviously didn't find out it was the sword shrine until after, and I went to cleanse the area, and there's another guy looking at it. But this is the one with the giant lore dump about
The Sun Sword.
Sun Sword. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's like 8 souls. The first one, the one true path is a parabola. The first half of my journey ends here. The second half I commence in the new world, where I shall walk the one true path. And I just do these in the order that I grabbed them. Obviously, that's probably not the best way because I probably should have went left, right, left, right, left, right, and I just went around in a circle. So some of them are weird. But the second one, what a blessing it is to have purpose. So long I wandered aimlessly, searching, never knowing the world was set up against me. The Pathfinder taught me otherwise. I am so grateful his path crossed mine. The third, I loved Nimue. I worshipped her for many years, and she was kind. But she stands in the way of the one true path. I wish there were another way. Number 4, I know that the Pathfinder, Godslayer, needs the power he draws from our sacrifices, and I know that our cause is just. It only seems like the followers always seem to sacrifice for the leaders. If only it were the opposite way. Number 5 is, I do not wish to do this. I am not ready. The Pathfinder must not need all of our blood. He could surely get by without me. But if I leave, he will find me, and he will take his blood then. Number 6, my life's greatest joy has been supporting the Pathfinder. What a gift it is to know that my death will carry that onward. I am bound to him and him to me forever. The 7th one, my time following the Pathfinder was not so long by my old standards, but I do not remember who I was before I joined him. Whoever I was once, I do not miss my old self. I have found my destiny. And then the 8th guy is, my blade is dull. I killed so many men for the Pathfinder. It was worth it. I know it was worth it. It must have been worth it. And it's like, you can see like this weird like setting of people that like, I want to do this from like the first guy, and then there's other guys that are like, well, I did this, but I don't know if I should have done this. And there's one guy that just frankly doesn't want to do it because he knows he's going to die. He's like, I'm just going to run away. And the other guy's like, well, I killed people. It was probably a good thing, right? And like, no. Maybe it was a good thing. It has to be, right, guys? Come on, tell me. Oh, wait, you're all dead. You can't tell me anything.
I killed you.
Yeah, I love
So
that
this is
is
what-
his desperation
Yeah.
for his life to mean something.
Yep.
But guys, all our lives are pointless. I'm sorry.
Unless you find the one true path.
Yeah, we should all go with the Godslayer to find the one true path.
He has maps, I hear.
Did you get
Yeah,
like the,
His maps.
Did you get the huge like paragraph ones?
Okay, I summarized them. I did not go word for word on everything.
Okay, I got the word for words ones if you want them.
Do you want the
Or
word
if
for
you want
word?
the summarization, it's up to you.
What does the audience want? I don't hear anything.
Fucking
know.
crickets.
Word for word.
All right, go. All right, Tyler, go word
Good.
for word.
All right. So there's 2 big, like, stone tablets that have a big lore dump, and this is basically the entire story within these 2 tablets. This is written from the Godslayer. He says, "My friends, I owe everything to you. When I was imprisoned, you freed me. When I was besieged by the ignorant old guard, you fought with me. When I needed to pass deadly trials to gain the mask of the ancients, you helped me forward. And now, when I required entry to the spirit realm to acquire this sun sword, you cleared me a path. It is time that I return that in kind. I must deliver us to the one true path. But to do that, I must tell you what I saw when I wore the mask of the ancients. When I saw as the tall ones see. I saw the terrible chaos of this world. It is born of chaos, forged of it, ruled by fickle gods of it. I swore that I would find you a path, but the mask revealed that this world has none. so we have no choice but to remake it. This world must end, and a new one must be born in its place. A world built around the one true path. So that's basically his descent from the Pathfinder into the Godslayer.
Mhm.
And then after that, he writes, "With this mask and this sword, I now have the power I need to create a new realm. But first, this world must end, and one cannot end a world whose gods still live. You have long known me as the Pathfinder, but that can no longer be my title. I must now become a Godslayer. There will be pain, great pain, but it will be worth it. You have given me your time, your sweat, your belief. I must not ask, this massive sword make me godly, but they do not make me stronger than the tall ones. If you sacrifice yourselves in my name, you will give me the power I need to rise high above these gods of chaos. You will give me the strength I require to become the Godslayer. So lay yourselves down upon this holy ground and close your eyes. When you open them again, you will do so on the one true path." That's shit.
cool.
I fucking love that, dude. When I read that, I was like, "Oh, that's good. That's good stuff."
Yeah. I mean, it just chronicles everything that he was doing, because you didn't have like a full sense of what was happening at this. Like, you knew kind of what was going on. Like, even if you were just briefly looking, you kind of knew some stuff. If you looked at any of the souls as you were passing it, but I like how he's just like, okay, just lay down, close your eyes, and I'm just going to murder all of you, and then when you'll open your eyes on the other side. Everything
But
will be
the good thing about that little section is, right, is like we were kind of piecing that together from the last episode, like not even being this far into it, like, oh, the Pathfinder is probably the Godslayer, right?
Right. Yeah.
But having this like little section of like, okay, here's the entire story basically of what's really happening here.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that, because it's like, yeah, I was worried that it was going to be one of those things where it's like, maybe this is it, like they're going to leave it up to our interpretation, but actually being able to find the truth, I like that, knowing that there is an actual truth to it all. It's not just what you make of it.
Yeah. And then this also has further, you can go further in it, because you can use your mask and then go into that tower right behind it. And this is where it talks about the Sun Sword. So there's a tablet that states, "Immense power lies beyond this door, and if you use the sword's power, the power also uses you." On the other side, it states that the Moonbow and the Sun Sword are the two most powerful weapons ever to draw blood in the realm of man. The only match for one of these armaments is its sister. And I'm like, oh, cool, man. Where's the freaking Moonbow? Give me this Moonbow. As you go farther in, you can see where you go through another wall with the spirit mask, and you can see the Sun Sword when you have your mask down. But then when you pull it up, it's gone. So I think this just goes back to saying, like, what you were talking about, Tyler, is how his mask actually lets him go to the other side.
Yeah.
So he can go to the other side, grab the sword. You can just see it. Like, you can't really do anything about it. Because you can see it there. Obviously, I don't know why it would be there, because he already has it, but you can see where it used to be, maybe.
Just like an imprint
that stone.
of its energy, like
Yeah.
sitting in the pedestal or something like that.
Yes. There's also one more spirit down there, and what does he say? Passing the spirit. Oh, no, never mind. That's later. Up on the tower. Up on the tower again. So I go to the Dispel a tower. There's a soul sitting up there, and he says, "The Pathfinder's forces have breached the Sword Shrine. Nothing good can come from this. No man should have this much power. The one true path cannot be worth the destruction this will bring." So again, there's people that know what's going on, and they're just kind of up watching, just observing, and they just end up dying there. And I know there's a couple spots where I ran across like some of the monks, but I didn't get a lot of context or of what the lore was based around the monks.
It seemed to just be that they were there to worship the Tall Ones and try to stop the Godslayer from continuing down this path of defeating them. I mean, and then they all end up dying in the process.
Yeah.
So,
Does anybody have anything else before the boss fight in this area?
the only thing I want to add about the Sun Sword thing is I like reading that, because as soon as it was like, oh, there's a moon bow, I was like, when we getting that fucking moon bow? Come on.
So I was waiting for him, like, come on, give me this.
Yeah, Chekhov's moonbow.
Yep. I was like, I know that motherfucker has a sword, so when we getting that bow? And it was okay how we got it.
Yeah, I had a couple of things still. It's weird how easy Kumo's like stealth section is when you get caught in his red storm compared to the last like two. I mean, he's even easier than the first guy, I think, which stood out as odd to me. Then I also I like how you can kind of Skyrim your way up the mountains. Like there's some areas where you can gain foothold that it seems like you should not be able to gain foothold and just get your flaps back. That's always fun. I love when you can Skyrim your way through.
How many flaps did you have at this point?
It's 5 or 6.
Oh, I never had to climb glitch up a mountain.
Yeah, if you didn't do anything extra, you would only have 4 here because you got one taken away.
Yeah, I had more than that, but yeah, I never had to glitch. I only had one problem where I went into like this area, and I think all of it was for XP, but it's like in a cavern. But then you can see light, and there's a crack in the top, and I'm like, okay, I'll just fly up. So I jumped on top of the statue, and then I flew up, and you just get stuck on the ceiling. It doesn't let you fly out of the top of it. And I was like, come on.
And then the last thing I have before the boss fight is, I don't know why it stood out specifically here, but the music in the 4th area stood out to me more than in any other area, which the score in this game is really, really good all the way throughout, but it really stood out here in particular. I'm not sure why.
The music in this game was so good.
Yeah,
I agree.
Austin Wintory is the composer, right?
Austin Wintory. I actually tweeted at him after I beat the game and was talking about how much that music really made the game for me, because it really was like the part that was so relaxing is the score was so good, like on top of the exploration, and he liked that shit. So.
Oh wow, you're famous.
Yeah.
Famous.
But yeah, in this area,
a one true like is what I say. I'm the like slayer now.
Oh wow, you're gonna kill Austin Wintory. That's fucked up, man.
That's why I know that name.
First, folks.
He was also credited with music for Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I knew he did Journey, right?
Yep. Journey, Flow, Abzu, Banner Saga 3, Command and Conquer Rivals, bunch of games. 3. But Syndicate is the one that.
In Syndicate's
good for me.
Music is really fucking good too.
Yeah.
It stands out a lot compared to other Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah. But in this 4th area, you guys can tell me if it happens in other areas and I just didn't notice, but if you stand on top of one of the towers, one of the 3 towers, and you're just like looking out over the environment, it plays this really good ominous track that I had not heard in the game before. Like most stuff in the game is pretty kind of upbeat or peaceful, but like this shit was scary. Like it could have been in a fucking horror game.
Is that the one that had like a really low drum section in it?
I think so. That sounds right.
I want to say it was like a really low timpani setting, but I know you guys don't know the music that much. So.
Yeah,
That's all I had. But Ryan, I know you said earlier that you had some specific problems with this area. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and the traversal, and I really don't. I like the verticality, but it makes traversal more of a chore for me. I guess is the easiest way to put it. Where the fact that I had to engage more strictly with the traversal system just to get from place to place felt more of a chore than excitement in what am I going to find when I get up here. It was like, I'm going to get another fucking puzzle. I got to do the same shit I've been doing for 3 areas. Like,
you think it's because you didn't have a lot of like flaps with your eagle and you had to actually use the bow to get through everything, and it was more, if you fucked up, you were going to take an L and go back down and fall a few feet and have to go back up, or...
Yeah, it could be. Playing on thinner margins can certainly exacerbate that problem.
Yeah. Just curious, because I at this point I think I had 10 flaps.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and then by the end of this area, before I went to the God Slayer fight, I had 11.
Yeah.
So I was fucking flying everywhere. Like, I never touched the talisman, really, after I beat the last boss.
Well, in this area, too, there was puzzles that would unlock these, like, updrafts, and then, like, all around the top, you could just hit your eagle into those, and they would just launch you as well.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't find all those. I think I found 1 or 2 of them,
but yeah, there was a couple areas that definitely, if you got to them, it would make traversal better because it would launch you.
I would say this area was absolutely the hardest to traverse if you didn't have a lot of like eagle flaps or anything, because like the points of interest were so fucking spaced out. Like I was having a hard time trying to find them all. So
I do like the point of interest with like the skeleton at the top of one of those mountains.
Yep.
One of the puzzles. Yeah, that was really cool. I liked that that scene, but like the getting there was annoying.
yeah.
One of Kumo's playmates.
That he killed. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really find this boss battle really. I thought that Nimwe's was much harder as well. Like just in the arena, like fight phase, I thought Nimwe's was a lot harder than this guy's as well.
Yeah.
I don't really remember Kumo's fight at all. I just remember I was surprised at the end of it when his spirit form popped up because it was not the animal I was expecting.
Yeah. See,
I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect
I
a
thought it
bear.
was gonna be a wolf, and then it was a big ass bear, and I was like, that's not what I was thinking this was gonna be.
The tail on that bear really threw me off.
Yeah.
It was weird.
They added
had
that to a lot of them. Yeah,
It was weird.
yeah, that was pretty strange.
The only...
But
Sorry, go ahead.
I think this is the one where he's on the wall a bunch. Like he would jump up on the wall and like skitter around.
Yep, that's the one.
I think he whips fireballs too. No, you have to shoot the fireballs back at him at a few points.
Yeah.
This reminded me of Final Fantasy VII when you're fighting the one boss that jumps off onto the walls. It's like the first boss.
Oh yeah.
Final Factory
Final Fantasy 7 what?
remake. The beginning, right in the Mako reactor when it
Yeah, the
jumps up, or
Scorpion
Mako.
Sentinel or whatever.
Yeah, when he jumps up on the walls and he runs
The
around.
Airbuster?
No, like the Scorpion Sentinel thing. I think that was in the demo.
Scorpion.
Literally the very first thing you fight.
It's been a while since I played that game.
You should play it again. It's good.
Yeah.
The only notes
about it.
The only notes I have for this boss fight is that I love when you're running next to Kumo after you get his first two. You know, they always create distance. He like does this weird jumpy thing like this. I don't know why. He does that to gain extra ground on you. Seems like that would slow you down, but I found it hilarious to look at.
He's playing with you. Like he likes to play.
I guess.
I didn't understand his like design at all because it really fooled the hell out of me.
He's
I was
weird.
like expecting it to be some kind of like wolf or a mountain lion or something. And then
That's what we talked about last time. Like we were trying to guess what the next ones were.
A fucking bear. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, from his like icons, you know how each character has an icon that you sometimes play with in the puzzles. He kind of reminded me of like Hercules aesthetic. I was half expecting it just to be a big man, a big naked man.
Big naked man. It wasn't a tail. It was my dong.
Oh my god, Tom!
have you seen?
What are you doing?
The Watchmen.
No,
The movie or the show?
Either of them.
I've seen the movie.
In the movie.
Yeah, seen the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say either way, you're gonna see a big old Mr. Manhattan dick. And
Yeah. Big old blue dick.
Yeah, and then the other note I had is that you can kind of just nullify 90% of this fight in the arena anyways by spamming R2. Most of his moves, like, they just don't hit you. If you're spamming R2, you just blow off the limb or whatever. It was a really lame fight overall.
Yep.
Especially compared to the last one.
I didn't
Yeah,
spam
it was
R2 a lot, apparently. I just ran around holding it down.
Got him in max. One in.
Yeah.
Important distinction.
Anyway, anybody else on the boss?
Yeah.
All right.
Nope.
So after you do this, you get that power that Tyler was talking about, that eagle soar boost that just uses like what, 5 flaps, and just shoots you straight in the air.
Yeah, and then you get a super version of that, basically, if you get all the little tokens.
Okay. So then you start heading your way up to the Godslayer. But as you're going towards it, the Godslayer, or Jabba the Hutt, jumps out. Slashes, breaks your bow, and discovers the true nature of your eagle friend, that it was not just a normal eagle all along, but it was the mother of the things that he turned.
I wasn't really thinking to be the mother eagle, like reincarnated. I thought it was just like a little baby spiritual eagle. I wasn't really thinking it was like, oh no, this is
Well,
her.
I figured it was reincarnate because of just how you get her in the beginning.
Yeah.
Same
Also,
place,
every time you beat a boss, she like nuzzles up with the monster like a mother.
Mm-hmm.
So
So how does an eagle give like is the mother of
Whoa.
a snake, a bear.
Let's not get
Eagle and a
into
bear
it.
love each other very much.
Yeah, that's why they have those big holes in them.
Like I just said, I've never seen a bear pop out of an egg. All right, that's all.
Well, you've never seen a tall one.
Have
bear.
you ever seen an eagle pop out of a placenta?
Also, no. Chris is regretting his decision to be on this
Regretting
podcast.
everything right
Google
now.
search. Hold on, let me.
Oh my god, stop it. You fools.
But yes, the Godslayer turns the eagle into this giant flaming two-headed creature that wants to destroy you.
I'm gonna stop you right here. This part super fucking sucked, by the way. I did not like this part.
What? I like this part. But before that, though, I also really like the ascent to the bridge. There's a ton of those little blue talismans that you shoot to just fly up super high. What did I miss? Everybody's laughing.
I think
Stop
it's
laughing
really
at me.
funny that the part Panda disliked, I
the part
actually
that-
enjoy.
Yeah, I did not like it.
Well-
Also, I have a note that you know how you go up, so you do that ascension that I love with all the blue talismans, and then there's like the big broken bridge, but there's the big gust of air that you're supposed to take up to the top. For some reason,
Yeah.
that gust of air just like was not visible when I first went up there, so I went all the way to the end of that fucking broken bridge, and surprise, there's nothing there. You have to go all the way back.
I
Oh
just
my
jumped
God.
immediately, and like I didn't see a gust of air, but I just started like floating. I'm like, oh cool, I guess I just ride this out.
Yeah, I just didn't use the eagle over there. It's like it's very hard to see when you're actually in it. It's super easy to see from far away though. Then I realized, oh yeah, I'm stupid. I need to get in that thing.
Cool. So why did you like this part, Ryan?
I like the design. This finally felt like a point where like things were coming to a head, and maybe I had hope for this last boss fight that let me down. But yeah, I don't know. The lead up to this point, I was enjoying myself in this stretch of after beating that boss and coming up to, because even though I don't feel like our protagonist is well enough explained for a reason being there, at this point in the story, I do feel like I have enough reason to go against the antagonist.
Because he took your pet.
Yeah.
Well, between taking the pet and finding out more about the whole transition from Pathfinder to Godslayer, all that stuff.
Motherfucking bow too.
That too.
Yeah.
I have more reason as the player to feel invested in seeing this man stopped.
I like this little area too, where it's just you're injured and you're just sneaking up to the little rocks, hiding, waiting until the eagle passes. Just a little stealth.
The reason I didn't like it is because it wasn't telegraphed really well. Like, there was a certain path you had to take up, and I was kind of leaning towards the right-hand side, and it doesn't taper off enough as you're going up the right-hand side to where you can actually make it. And so at a certain point, I'm going up on the right-hand side, and then I just can't go any further. So then I got pushed back a shit ton, and then I got pushed back a shit ton more. And so then I had to make my way into the middle, and then kind of left, and then up. And I just felt like it was a waste of my time. And it was like so frustrating because you had to wait so long for that eagle to circle back around. And it just,
Yeah, that's fair.
it took a little bit too long for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that mechanically it's not amazing, but I love the last couple stretches where like you've been trained to, like, I can make it to that next ledge, but then you can't quite make it to the like last ledge, and you just have to like go for it, and you get knocked down, but you don't get knocked all the way back, and you keep going forward. And I think it happens a couple times on that one, and then like you just can't even see the ledge that you're supposed to fall down, but you just have to like trust and run forward off of that last ledge. I think it's very thematically appropriate with the game not having a path.
Yeah.
I would
So you
say,
make it.
I mean, cinematically, it was really cool looking. And the music at this point is just bumping. The score is going crazy, and just it was really an intense moment, but it was just so fucking frustrating riding up that right hand side and then being pushed back so fucking far because I couldn't go any further, and then having to course correct to where I could actually go to where I needed to go. But I mean, aesthetically, it was really cool. I did like that. It just was fucking frustrating.
Yeah, I was nervous when I was getting towards that lip. I was like, I'm gonna get caught, and then like
Yeah.
just slide down.
Yeah, that felt really good.
But
That's
like
the other
right
thing too, like the satisfaction of the completion.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
feels
afterwards,
really
the
good.
descent down underneath the little temple thing was really cool. But then this part is right after it goes into my favorite part of the game. So, like this next sequence that we're getting into was my absolute favorite part of the game.
Oh, where you pray at the statue and then you take a bunch of LSD and go into this weird blue watery land.
Yep, I love that.
I remember spinning around, just like, man, this is trippy. And then you
I
just
love
see
that,
that
dude.
all 4 of the tall ones just down at the end, and you just kind of walk up to them, and there's your moon bow.
Yeah, man, it was like just really cool, and like you like go through all these different scenarios, and then like when you finally culminate at the end of this like sequence with the tall ones, and you get your moonbow, it just was really satisfying.
Yeah, that
I
shot
liked
is
it a
really
lot.
good. Like when it's pulling
Yeah,
back and showing the 4 spirits and the eagle. You get the bow.
it was fucking
Very good.
gorgeous. Like walking up to that blue area where the eagle is like nested, waiting for you, and just like how the red slowly kind of fades away and the blue takes over the entire scenery. It was fucking gorgeous. This game is really like good looking. You know?
Well, that's later, because we have to fight first.
By what?
You have to fight the fucking eagle.
Oh fuck!
You don't get to the nest
ahead.
yet. That's after this.
Get
That's
ahead.
that's
I
when you're
totally
walking
forgot
in the when you
forgot
walk
you
on the blood, or the red. I just thought it was a river of blood. But yeah, you go up and you have to do the fight, where it's just like it's a little underwhelming how the Godslayer attacks, because it's basically just jump, 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 and then he's like just run to the side and then just jump and shoot him. I do really like the shot though. When you shoot the moonbow, it's got that little crescent, and then each time you charge it after the tall ones. So after each phase, he like goes into the air, and he's got the 4 totems around him. You got to shoot him. Like the first time it's once, the next time it's twice, the next time it's 3 times, and then each time when you hit him with that one shot, it'll add a crescent. So the first time there's only 1, the next time there's 2, the next time there's 3. I like that. I thought that was cool. And then when I was playing, every time I did it, I said moonshot. And people enjoyed me saying that. Well, one person, the Smack, enjoyed it, but I did it nonetheless. But I thought I just thought that boss fight, this part of the boss fight, was a little underwhelming, and it wasn't that hard to avoid him or the eagle by just getting to the side.
Yeah, I got knocked out of the arena a couple times. The only negative note I have about the fight is that the second and third phase is essentially the same. Like they add in the eagle for the second phase, which changes it a little bit, but then you have to do it a third time, and it's like exactly the same. They don't even change anything. It's kind of odd, but it's an amazing fight for sure, and I didn't mind doing that phase again because it's so cool.
Yeah, the music just for this whole section, this to the end, is just fantastic and really awesome. I really enjoyed the music at this point. Also, then after you do that and you cleanse, like every time you did one of those like the totems, it would light up, and you did the shot, you would light up one of the towers that you were like dispelling the curses from before to shine the light on him. Also, what the fuck does he turn into after you do this? Some 3-eyed weird skeleton alien thing?
Giant monster man. He was the Godslayer.
The icon
That's
of
like
sin.
A demonized version of Alwan.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind.
Yeah. He was the chaos tall one, basically, is what it seemed like to me. Is instead of becoming the Godslayer, he became the chaos that he thought that he was trying to stop in the first place.
And then this is where your part comes in, where you are in that red fog and like you're calling to your eagle. Like you can hit any button, and if you hold it down, you can do it, and you can call to it, and then you got to find it, and then it like starts to tell your story. Like when you first got here, you were young and didn't know anything, and then you get to the next one, and it's like a big shot of like you taking on the tall ones, and they basically you're just calling. You can call out to the eagle to kind of know where to go, but you're just wandering through. The only thing I didn't like is why were they so far apart? Like you found one, and then it's like, okay, where's the next one? And it's like fucking 150 yards in the opposite direction.
But I mean, the point of this section, right, was to kind of quell the evil within the Eagle Mother again.
Yes.
Kind of like all the other times, so that she got surrounded by the darkness with those totems, like earlier on in the game. But this was like way more in depth, so like you're going deeper and deeper into like this darkness, trying to find the light and bring her back out of it. And I think this part was like super impactful and it was kind of emotional in a way. I don't know why. It just really hit me in a weird way. I liked it a lot. This was by far the best part of the game.
Yeah, because your character actually like absorbs that darkness. Even like the Godslayer mentions in the last fight, like, oh, nobody can survive that. How are you fighting me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all just to bring the Eagle Mother back and like make sure that she's okay. And I just thought that was really cool. It was like, oh, this game's gonna have like a definitive ending, you know?
Yeah. So the music really kicks in like once you find the nest and you get all like it's like group shot. It's like all of them, right? This is when the tall ones are there, and you have the Eagle Mother, and you come back, and then you like time to kick the fucking like the music kicks off. It's like time to kick the ass. Let's get this
Dude,
3-eyed.
This fight was intense, man. It was like really cinematic, and like we've said multiple times, the music was just going, and I think this game really culminates in a really climactic way, and it ends on a high note, you know. Whereas like maybe Ryan still didn't like it. I don't know. Probably not, because you're not doing a lot of actions. You're doing a lot of the same things, but it just like building and building and building to this like one moment, and you're fighting this giant being of chaos, basically.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool and intense, and I liked it a lot.
I think a lot of the boss fights are about one phase too long.
Yeah, this one definitely seemed a little long in the tooth. I mean, I could see why, because of it being the final boss, but there were points where it was like my wife, she's always sitting next to me when I'm playing. I looked over at her at one point, I paused, I go, this thing is fucking taking forever. I'm still doing this.
Yeah, no, I think that's my biggest thing with the boss fights is like by the time I'm beating them, like that last phase is like more. Like I thought it just always felt like too much of that boss fight for me. Maybe they need to remove the chase sequence, or if the first boss fights, or just one phase. There's one phase too long on all the boss fights, in my opinion.
Yeah, most of the bosses have like 2 phases that are almost exactly the same, so they could definitely tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So after defeating this, you're dead, right? You're dying when you send the eagle out.
Oh yeah, the very end after the conversation.
She pretty much just collapses and like tells the eagle to go out, spread the light, and start the world anew. As she just flies away, you're like smiling but collapsed on this giant floating pillar.
Was that your guys' ending?
Yeah.
Did you have another scene after the credits?
You wanted me to stay past the credits?
I don't remember. I don't know. It's on stream. I didn't watch all the credits when I watched
not
the
my. So that was not the ending completely that I had.
Okay. So what happened?
So afterwards, you send the Eagle Mother off to cleanse the world, and then you go through the credits. But then she comes back and absorbs all of the like negative dark energy out of you and dispels it into the earth, and then she ends up landing on your shoulder and like nuzzles up against you, and that's the end of the game.
So maybe that's because you did everything.
Could be.
Yeah, because I don't think I remember that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So at the very end, because I thought it was like, oh, like you're dead for sure, but then she comes up and kind of puts her beak into your chest and absorbs all of the negative shit. And the very last shot is her like perched up on her arm, and like they're nuzzling against each other, and then kind of like pans out slowly.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know that I like that. I don't like when games are like death is so cool and edgy, and we're gonna do it, and then they fucking take it back if you do everything or whatever.
Yeah. But it was weird, right? Because it was like, to me, it was like almost left it open for the possibility of a sequel.
Yeah.
It's like the main character isn't gone. The Eagle Mother is still there. You don't know if there's more darkness left to cleanse throughout the world. So it was a weird ending, but it was nice. Everything's like, oh, the hero's alive in the end.
Yeah. We did kind of skip over. They have a conversation, the main character and the Godslayer, like as you're defeating him and you're shooting a giant laser at him, which that's still super cool, by the way. That anime shit.
Yeah, the fact that she just does a Kamehameha wave, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Maybe that's why Kyle Hilliard likes this game so much. But yeah, they have a conversation, and the line that stood out to me was the main character says, "The truth is a pathless world," because I guess that's kind of what drove the Pathfinder crazy, is that there was no path. And yeah, the
Yeah, I
truth
was
is a
talking
path
about giving people the right to choose.
yeah. Like there is no right path forward, which like obviously this is something that's easily transplanted into real life advice. Like the whole speech about needing to find your own path to salvation. All that shit was beautiful to me, and it recontextualized the game in a way because like I already had that moment earlier where I was like, yeah, the game's kind of pointing out that like my desire for a map in this game is not correct for what this game is, and I think this solidifies that even more and really made me appreciate getting lost in the game, even though I don't like to get lost. It was really good. It brought up my opinion of the game drastically, just how thematically appropriate it was.
Yeah, because doesn't the God Slayer say to her like, "Well, who will lead them?" And then she says they'll find their own path or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's there's no one true path to salvation, right? Everyone has to
Yeah.
find their own path.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was good.
Yeah, but speaking of Kyle Hilliard, he is the one and only community email that we got. And Mr. Kyle Hilliard says, "Hey Spelunkers, I'm glad to hear you're tackling the Pathless. It is one of my favorite games this year that I fear may get lost in the next-gen shuffle. It's a thoughtful game that I think will grow in my mind over time, but I just wanted to say regarding the ending that the final boss and his weird demonic sort of look really took me by surprise in a positive way. Also pitting me against my own bird, that's diabolical. I'm trying to finish a million games right now, and Cyberpunk is just around the corner. But the Pathless is a game I could see myself returning to, maybe to get all the trophies or just generally play more. It's so much fun to move around. And he hopes we all enjoyed it too, except for Ryan, because I hate you."
Kyle Hilliard hates you,
You wrote
man.
that in there?
Unfortunate.
Oh God! Not playing games with him.
Jesus.
Maybe that's why, because you didn't play with him yet.
that could be.
Vendetta.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just if you have kids, you enjoy the game more. I don't know.
I enjoyed the game quite a bit by the end of it, but
Yeah,
I do
Chris,
not have
really did
kids.
a-
I will
you did
never
a
have
180
kids.
compared to last
Yeah.
episode.
Because it didn't seem like you were
Oh, yeah.
in the same boat as Ryan. Or like, yeah, fuck this game. I
Yeah,
don't
for
like
the last episode for sure, I was in the same boat of it being mediocre, not bad, but like just okay. But yeah, I think that ending recontextualizing everything really brought up my opinion of it and the amazing score. But yeah, I did
Yeah,
want
that last half of the game, man, that music is
Yeah,
crazy good.
I think the last half of the game is a lot stronger, like from the fourth area on.
it. Yeah. That's what I thought the whole ending would have turned it around for Ryan, but apparently not. I thought the ending was like the strongest part.
Brian
Yeah,
has
I
no
mean-
heart or soul, so
I'm heartless. No, I do like the message given to us at the end, but I don't think it's enough to make up for the other faults that I have with the game. The other problems. I personally think this is just below average for me. There's enough here that I dislike to bring it below a line of average game, in my opinion.
And do you think that's just solely based off of the fact that like there's really no gameplay? It's kind of just like you're just kind of running around aimless.
I don't think so, because there's a lot of games like that I do enjoy. I mean, from this same developer, like I love Journey. Like that was a game that blew my mind when I first played it, and I played through Journey probably 6 or 7 times.
And I think it's weird, right? Is this almost had the same impact on me as Journey did, where like that last ending sequence, those ending moments where like the story kind of culminates, is the most impactful. Whereas like I definitely felt like teary-eyed at the end of this, like I did at the end of Journey. You know, so it's weird that you have that disconnect.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I keep going back to the whole. This feels like too much to be a palate cleanser or an appetizer kind of game, but not enough to be a full course game for me. And they try to walk this fine line between the two, but it winds up giving me more than it should, or not enough of what I want from it.
yeah, I guess it's fair. Does everyone have like a score? We've been giving games scores at the end of these.
Yep, I've got a number, but
Let's hear yours first. It's gonna be the worst one.
6 out of 10.
Disgusting. This man hates indie games. 7 out of 10 Bug Snacks. 6 out of 10 Pathless. Disgusting. No, I'm kidding. Tyler?
Who's next?
Well,
Me?
Yeah, you have a number?
Yeah, I'm sitting on like an 8.5 or a 9, like right in between. I really enjoyed this game. I'd honestly rank it higher if it wasn't the price is annoying to me, because we buy these games ourselves, and $40 for this game, and it only took me like maybe 6 hours, 8 hours to beat in total,
Yeah.
and maybe 10 hours to get the platinum. It's hard to justify that price. My enjoyment with it, it almost makes up for it. But I think if it would have been like $30, it'd have been perfect. You know what I mean? But 40 is just like, because Miles Morales was $40.
On PS4.
yeah, that's quite the comparison between
You
the
look
two.
at Miles
Yeah.
Morales and you look at the Pathless, like the production of these games are so like astronomically different. It's hard to justify that in a way. And I don't want to like be that kind of guy who's like nitpicking on price and stuff like that. But I mean, it does impact your ability to enjoy a game, because you have a certain expectation of like, oh, I'm paying this much for something.
Yeah.
What am I going to get out of it? And but I mean, still 8.75 or 9. I mean, that's
Yeah.
nothing to
Like,
scoff at. I still fucking love this game.
yeah, for sure. I never like take into account price when I'm scoring a game or anything, because I mean, somebody could get this game down the line for $20. So that change my opinion of it. Like, I don't think so. But I will say I probably would not have bought this game for $40. I probably would have waited for it to be a PlayStation Plus game or something if we hadn't done this game club. Just because that's like that is a high price. I scored the game an 8.25. I think that, like, honestly, just on that first half, I probably would have given it like a 7. It took me forever to pick the game back up and do the second half, because I was like, I don't really want to pick that back up. It's not that I dislike it. It's just not super enticing. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad this game club made me, because it was really good. The ending was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm probably sitting about an 8. It was a good time, but like you said, I didn't have anything pushing to me to play it. I just got home from work one day and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna play this, and I'm like, I actually blew you guys off for Deep Rock Galactic. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm so close. I'm like, no, let's just do it. I'm so close. I gotta just finish this game off.
Yeah, it was
That's
not
what I
very
think about
rocket
this
stone
game,
of you.
though, is I felt that same thing where it's like I didn't really have any desire to play it when I wasn't playing it, but when I was playing it, it was hard to fucking stop playing it.
Yeah, there wasn't a point where I played just a little bit and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Like if I started playing it, I was playing it for like
Chunks at
a
a
long,
time.
like at least an hour or two.
See,
Yeah.
I almost feel in the reverse here, where like I don't like. I actually enjoy thinking about the philosophical questions that the end of this game poses, but I do not want to pick up a controller and play it again.
I already deleted it off my PlayStation.
Yeah, as soon as I got the platinum, I deleted it. I mean,
Those hard drives are small, so yes, I also deleted it.
yeah, I mean, there are other games coming out. I gotta delete that bad boy. I deleted Miles Morales as soon as I beat that too. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a nice, enjoyable time for me, and good music. Also, I've been seeing a good theme on. We play games that have really good music in them, minus Bugsnax.
Whoa! Hey!
Sorry, what's her name?
Whambus!
Not Wambus. The
Like
Wiggle.
bugging
Yeah,
like a
Wiggle,
snack. You
Wiggle,
don't like that? You don't like that song?
Wiggle's gonna have some words with
I
you,
like
sir.
I like her boss fight song. I liked her boss fight song. But no, like in all seriousness, we've been playing games with really good scores.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Good soundtracks for sure.
Yeah.
If you like good soundtracks, you should play Ikenfell. The end.
True.
I should also play a lot of other games that,
Just listen to the
a
soundtrack at
lot.
least. Listen to the soundtrack.
or I could just play Fortnite.
Yeah, you're always like, I have so many other games to play, and then you play Fortnite for like 6 hours or whatever.
Like, oh, I'll play this, and then it'll be like, oh, Tyler's like, oh, let's play Fortnite. All right, Monday stream is now Fortnite.
I can
But-
play other games. I mean, I'll play games
Yeah.
on myself.
Oh, and I enjoy Fortnite, so
Well, that's a
I
fun
got
game.
stuff. I gotta get Condor. I'm getting close.
Yeah.
New
I'm trying
stuff.
to buy more $25 skins, man.
Give them all to me. But yes, so that's the Pathless, and
We did it, everybody.
a lot of us enjoyed it.
Yeah, I recommend this game. Two thumbs up.
I would recommend it. Yes, if you can pick it up for like $20 or so down the line, definitely worth a playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or free if it's on PlayStation Plus.
Did you see Ben Hansen tweeted out today? He had a physical copy sent to him from I Am 8-Bit. Have you seen what that looks like? The
Yes, I
box
did.
art is gorgeous, man.
Very
It
jealous
looks
of it.
really cool.
Mm.
The physical copy looks awesome. So if you're gonna pick it up, you want to play it, you should get that physical copy from I Am 8 because that looks rad.
I would also say play this game. Just because it's not for me. My dislike of this game is not me saying it is a bad game. It is saying I don't like this game. I think a lot of people can like this game. I think there is a lot to like about this game. I don't like a lot about this game.
It's because there was no lock picking, isn't there?
That's why. That's entirely the
there's
reason.
No lock picking in
See,
this
Ryan,
game.
that's why I like having you on this podcast. 'Cause you're like, this game was not for me, but it's absolutely for everybody else.
Well, it's like Bug Snacks. Like I knew that that wasn't a game that I'd be interested, but I know that my kids would thoroughly enjoy this. I know there's a lot of people that wouldn't enjoy it. It's just
28-year-old man
for
sitting
me.
in front of you enjoyed that game.
Yeah, there you go.
I do have one nitpick about the Pathless before we head out. So I got the platinum, like I said. There was one trophy that was incredibly difficult to get. I don't know if you guys knew this, but you know you could do trick shots where it's like you do like a half pull on a talisman, and it gives you an even extra speed boost. So instead of like completely filling up the talisman, you'll go to the halfway point, and it's called a trick shot. And like your controller, if you're playing on PS5, will actually rumble when it's ready to go, and like you kind of like do like a quick pull and like go. You have to do 10 of those in a row for a trophy, and it was hard as fuck. It took me forever to get, like an hour and a half just running back and forth of this super long stretch trying to get these like half pull talisman shots. It sucked. Also, did you know that if you ran next to animals for a super long time, they would run with you?
I read
always
that
ran
as
away
part of
from
the trophy, but I didn't do it.
There's a trophy for getting 6 animals to run with you. So like one of the last things I did in the game was just like running around this forest on the plateau, and it was just like a pig, a wolf, another pig, like a deer, and like I think a raccoon or something. We were all running in a pack together up a hill. It was really cool. I like that kind of stuff.
Cool.
I did not do that. All right, so we have our GOTY discussion. We're going to be recording that on the 6th of January, correct? Yes, people?
Yeah, I think we're doing it on the 30th, aren't we?
Yeah, the 30th. I thought we
Of this
agreed
month?
yesterday.
I don't think I was part of that conversation. So I guess we're doing it on the 30th.
Yeah, next week. We're doing it next week.
Okay. I don't think I chimed in on that one. Okay. So the 30th, we're doing it. I hope I'm home.
Tom, you better play some more games before then too.
And we will have at least one special guest, I believe. Is
At
what we
least
know
one.
right now. Possibly more.
Dreamer, are you working on those other guests? We heard you were bringing some guests.
Yeah, I have asked a couple people, but they have not gotten back to me. And we'll talk off air. I want to ask about another potential guest, but anyways.
Okay. So, the 30th, we'll be doing our GOTY countdown, of which I have 4 games maybe right now.
I have
So it'll be good
33
for me.
that I need to get down to 10. Do you want to borrow some, Tom? You can borrow some. I'll give you some.
I mean, if I don't like them, it's not really going to work out.
You will take them and you will like them.
They will fall in the garbage can right next to Bugs.
Look, right now you have 4 cookies and you need 10 cookies. You'll take whatever fucking cookies I give you.
Not if it's an oatmeal raisin cookie that go right in the garbage.
I'll take the oatmeal raisin cookie.
Don't throw it in the garbage.
No, I'll eat it.
But yes, we will be back next week, the 30th, and doing our GOTY talk. If you want to participate in it, at least in a little bit,
Question.
you could throw it in the Discord. Tyler's raising his hand.
Can we be drinking on this podcast? On the next one? Like,
Yes.
We're doing
I mean,
top 10. So
Get
it's
drunk,
Like,
man.
Sure, why not?
Get drunk.
I'm going to be drinking. I'm just saying.
Do it.
I mean, I think I work the next day, so I probably won't be drinking, but
New Year's Eve?
yeah, I definitely work the next day.
I also
So-
work.
Oh, I'm off on the next day. That's nice. I won't be drinking
So-
anyway, though. But yeah, Tom was saying, please send in your lists. You guys seem to really like the last time we did a top 10 thing, so send in your lists to our Discord, or is it spunkerspodcast@gmail.com, right? Is there an email?
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be in the description.
Or tweet it. At,
Yeah. Tweet your list at me at the Spelunkers.
That's it.
I think it's at the Spelunkers. It might be Spelunkers.
I don't think Spelunkers is available. I think it is at the Spelunkers. We're really good at this, guys.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me double check.
You're perfect.
Maybe if I used Twitter ever, I'd remember.
It is
Even
at,
signed
it's
up.
at the Spelunkers. Sorry.
So at these Spelunkers, there you go. And then we will be looking forward to hearing from everybody with their lists. I know there's a whole bunch of people and outlets doing lists right now. Even if you're part of that and you want to send
Ours
it,
is
that's
the
perfectly
fun
fine.
list and it's the accurate list.
And the Drunk Tyler list.
I don't
That's
think
why it's
so.
the most accurate.
Yes, and to be
Guarantee
clear,
The Last of Us Part 2 won't be number 1 on my list.
I can
man.
tell you that's not even on my list. So
we're definitely going to have some arguments about The Last of Us Part 2. It's going to be interesting.
Yes, we will.
drunken arguments.
Yeah, don't get so drunk that you're angry. I don't know if you're an angry drunk. Don't.
No.
But yeah, we should be clear. It's just going to be us running down our top 10 games of the year. We're not going to do like MinMax does, where we decide on between all of us what the top 20 games are. That is a lot of arguing that I don't think we're ready for.
No.
And we'll do it the same as our generational list. If there's one game that someone brings up, I think we'll get it all out of the way right there.
Yeah.
What we have to say about it as we go along with the list, just to hasten things along.
And aside, The Last of Us Part 2 is on my list. Top 10 games. It's just not number 1.
Well, it's not on mine, so you don't have to worry about it.
Didn't play it.
So we will
Chris
see
understands
you
it. Chris
or
gets it.
hear
He
you,
knows. He understands
or you can watch us in a week. Thanks for listening or watching, and we will see you next time.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy holidays.
holidays.
Bye.
No.